Well, kids, welcome to another episode of Rimshots with Sean, brought to you by Barstools and Bandtalk. We're going to call it the hat episode tonight. I rarely
Yeah,
wear a
yeah,
hat, but
yeah.
you know, I'm sporting my Kiss
Dude,
solo albums hat there. So
can't complain about Kiss.
we are here with LJ from Rat Rod. How are you, sir?
I cannot complain, sir.
It's been a while since I spoke with your camp, probably over a year ago. So what's on the go? You guys are got a lot happening.
Yeah, we actually just played with Richie Scarlett. Speaking of Kiss, from Ace Frehley, Mountain, and Sebastian Bach fame. Saturday night, great show in Philly. He came down, played Philly, and we got to share the stage with him, and it was a blast.
How were the crowds there on Saturday?
It was insane. Like we play this club quite a bit, and I have to say he brought out the old Kiss fans.
Oh, that's cool. So, I mean, how often have you guys been playing since everything, I guess, kind of opened back up, or fairly regularly, or?
Well, when we first started, we were kind of on a cover band schedule. Um, Plus, me and Mark, the guitar player, were both in cover bands, and we were pretty much playing every week. When things shut down, we try and do like twice a month.
Okay.
Um, it's kind of hard in this area right now because nobody wants to go out. Like they're so used to being in that nobody wants to go out. And when you do get them out, they want to go home by like 11:30.
Yeah.
That's the other problem.
It's funny because when everything opened, like I'm in Halifax, and when everything opened up the first time, you would start a show at 7, 8 o'clock. You'd have to be done by 10 or 11. And I think some people got that, even club owners got it in the headspace. Some of them, I think, liked it because maybe they could control things a little bit more.
I kind of dig it because if you started earlier and go to 10 or 11, you get the same amount of time of selling alcohol, and they make their business, and people don't mind going out at like when you start a show at 9 o'clock and you go to 2, like people at like 8:30 are like, "Are you starting yet? Like, let's go to sleep." Even on a Saturday night.
Yeah, it's funny, right? Because a lot of touring bands, um, they they start early. Like I was to Buck Cherry last Thursday here in Halifax. They were on stage by 8:30. They were done by 10, not even quarter after 10.
Yeah, I totally agree. The bunch of stuff that I've seen lately, we've done a bunch of shows up in New York, like going to see a bunch of shows, and even down here, it's like the headliner goes on 8:30, 9 o'clock, and they're done no later than 11. It's very rare that you see anything go past that anymore.
So we're here with LJ with Rat Rod, and subscribe because this channel, man, it's growing all the time. We get stuff on the go all the time. So what have you guys been up to? You played Saturday night. Any new music on the go? What's going
We
on?
we're always writing. We have a Mark and Mike kind of get together. Mark and our guitar players are father and son. Um, Mark, who has been mainly the main writer, and Bryce has been adding a lot lately. He's coming into his own. He originally started with the band, left, became a fireman, which I have a lot of respect for that. Did that for about 5 years, and then he kind of left that and decided he wanted to play again. But they kind of put scratch tracks together of stuff. So we have 6 left over from the last recording we did. Plus, we've got about 5 or 6 that are already kind of in the works going right now. Because we get bored really easy.
Well, I mean, it's good, and you got to stay active, right? Because I mean, like anything, you gotta keep practicing. It's a skill, and it can get dull if you're not constantly working on it.
Uh, our thing is like we've been playing the stuff from the new album, which came out last November, almost since the beginning. We started writing that just as everything shut down. We were lucky enough during the shutdown to have a friend who had his own studio. So we all went in by ourselves and rehearsed. So we were able to keep at least together and playing, which we wrote the entire album. Um, when we went to record Four on the Floor, We went down to our managers in Maryland at the time. He owns a studio, recording practice studio down there, and we walked in right off the bat. The engineer's like, "How many songs you doing today?" We're like 16. He's like, a little ambitious there, and we did it in 4 hours because everything was done. Like it was, we just played them and they were done. We did a
Yeah,
little. Yeah,
I get that. And I'm a big believer too. Like when I go in to record, because you're probably grew up, kind of in the era like I did, where hey, it's 50 to $60 an hour. You don't want to be burning up time, sound checking or figuring out songs. You want to go in, be ready to go, and spend as little money as possible.
well, it was really well. We've been lucky. I mean, back in the day, exactly. You go in and it's like my first recording thing. I think it cost us like almost $1,000 to do one song because you didn't realize that you didn't know your song, and that was like 3 songs. Um, but now we actually have what we call the bunker, which is Mark's little studio. And we recorded the first. They recorded the first album themselves. We recorded the second one at Mark's, and we also put a live album out. But what we did before this one is Mark is uh, gear junkie, so he picked up a digital recording, digital recording, you know, that you carry to the place. So we basically set up in our rehearsal room, set the the recording system up, and we blew everything out before we even were ready to record. We had everything down, so we had a month to listen and change and to hear how it sounds and see what we wanted to do, and that worked out great.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it. And I mean, there's so much technology that's easy to use, not that expensive, is better than anything. I mean, I love analog. I'm an old analog fiend. I love that. But it's getting harder and harder to be able to find people that can run that gear to do
Yeah.
it properly. So yeah. So what do you guys have coming up?
Actually, we're doing a thing in Philadelphia called Oddfest this Saturday. Um, it's a bunch of people that got together during COVID. Our one buddy, Mikey Prima Donna, during COVID started selling fudge, started a little company. Well, we had a few people pass away in our camp over the time since the beginning of COVID until now. So every time we had another character to the little T-shirts and whatever, and basically money gets put to whatever they were like. One rescued pit bull, so we donate some money to pit bull rescues. One, had a heart attack, so we go to the heart. So we're doing that this weekend, and we got a few things going. I'm not the best with with my schedule because basically I get told Thursday where I got to be.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know what though? I've got a lot of people that are part of this group and part of our fan base that are in that area. So how do they get tickets for if they want to go out?
Um, RatRodRocks.com. Everything's on there. You go on our Facebook page, same thing, Rat Rod Rocks. It's one word. And put band because usually, if not, you'll get a lot of 1950s remade cars. Um,
Which isn't a bad thing.
yeah, I know. Um, Mark and Mark and Bryce and even my brother are all gearheads, so it's transportation for me.
And just before we go, give a shout out to the boys because you got to give some love when they're not here, right? So
Oh yeah. Well, we got Mike, our singer. One of the. He's my favorite singer in the world, besides Robin Zander. But he's freaking awesome. Mark is a jack of all. He is like he's a master guitar builder. He's a phenomenal guitar player. You got his son Bryce, who is almost in the spitting image of his father, and we got Harry Rosa on drums, who is an animal, an animal. We added Bryce and Harry right before COVID, and it took us to the next level.
that's not well. Hey, man, always give a shout out to drummers because I am one. So Bad singer, bad drummer, bad band. That is all.
Oh,
So,
wait. So give a shout out. What's your band?
so I got a couple bands. I'm in one band called The Frequency, and I'm in
All right.
another band called Michelle Ryder and Side Hustle. And they're both different, but they're both fun. So,
Uh,
yeah, man.
what kind of music?
So we're doing right. Both of those are cover bands, but the one with Michelle, we're actually doing some writing, and it's going to be kind of in the vein of Vixen slash Pat Benatar
Cool.
ish type stuff.
Dude, I right as COVID ended, I left. I was in a Pat Benatar for about 5.5 years, a Pat Benatar tribute band.
Nice, nice.
It's going between the two genres, like the two cover and original. There's nothing like standing on a stage and having 1,000 people sing the songs, even though they're not your songs.
It's a lot of fun, yeah. And I mean, she's a lady with a 5 octave range and has a Motown background, but can tear the crap out of most stuff. So it's great. And I appreciate you asking that, man. It's because I don't like to make it about me, but I like to make it about my guests.
Well, one thing that we've always, since the day we started this band, we've always helped promote everybody around us. We might not get that reciprocation all the time, but the music industry is really has a weak heartbeat right now. And if we don't support each other and help each other out and, instead of backstabbing each other, it's not going to be here much longer because,
That's very well said, LJ, because I tell you, when I started this little thing, it's 3 years ago. It was supposed to be probably a 5-week project, and it's turned into a lot more. And I'm glad you said that, because oftentimes you feel like you're promoting people and you're not getting promoted, but people do promote. You just sometimes don't always see it, right?
Yeah, no. It's weird in this area. Like, there's some people that are still stuck in 1980 with
Yep.
that attitude, and it's with me. It's always been that way. I grew up in Philly, Jersey area. I learned from some of the best. I mean, we had bands around here that came out, and the ones that didn't were probably better than the ones that you know that everybody hears about, the Britneys and the Cinderellas and stuff like that. And, still friends with all of them to this day. And, it's, I learned from that, and they all supported each other. And, it's what you do or what you should do.
I think that, and as you know, I've been at this a long time myself, and I think as I've been doing this and meeting a lot of the bands that were successful in the day, and then in meeting them now, there was that tinge of that. But one of the things that I'm finding, you can work hard, you can work smart. I don't think it's luck. I think it's being fortunate, and there's certain things that happen for some people that don't happen for others, and that's just the way that she goes. And
Yeah, totally.
right.
You right spot at the right place at the right time, right spot at the right time, and that happens. Hey, I look at it like this: if I get to play music, I've been doing it since I was 13 years old. If I get to still play music at my age, that's better than anything. You know what I mean? I still get to do it. People come out and enjoy the stuff, and you hear the compliments. Or like Saturday night, we played, and there was a lot of people there that were see Richie, had no idea who we are, that came up to us at the end of the night. We're like, wow. And to me, that's what it's all about.
That's a great feeling, man. It's a great feeling.
I don't need to be a rock star. I don't need to be. I just like playing, and I like getting out of this area and going to other places, and just having a good time.
That's awesome, man. Last question: where can my viewers find out more about you guys, if your happenings and your music?
Well, we're on Facebook, of course, Rat Rod Rocks. We're on YouTube, Rat Rod Rocks. Everything's the same. Spotify, Rat Rod. We're on Amazon, Apple Music, anywhere they can. If you like AC/DC, Dirty Looks, Rhino Bucket, something like that, with a tinge of Kiss and Ted Nugent in there, come listen. You'll be pleasantly surprised.
These are a few of my favorite things. LJ, pleasure as always, sir.
Thank you, sir.
And we will talk to you soon.
I will.
Peace.
Thank you.